They laughed at your pain. Now they regret. They laughed when you fell. They laughed when your voice cracked, when your knees hit the ground, when your world collapsed in silence. They watched from a distance, convinced this was the end of you. They threw you into hell, not to teach you a lesson, but to enjoy the show. They whispered, "This is where they break." They smiled, certain you would never stand again. But listen to me now. Look at where you are. Breathe. You're still here. And that is where their first mistake began. They expected tears that never stopped. They expected you to beg, to shrink, to apologize for existing. They expected you to stay small so they could feel big. They thought pain would finish you. They thought loss would erase you. They thought betrayal would poison your soul beyond repair. They were wrong. You survived nights that tried to kill your spirit. You woke up in mornings that felt heavier than mountains. You carried wounds no one clapped for. You fought battles no one saw, and while they were busy laughing, you were learning how to breathe in the dark. They don't understand this part. They never do. They don't understand that pressure doesn't only break things. Sometimes it forges them. In the silence they mocked, you were listening. In the loneliness they caused, you were discovering who you really are. In the fire they pushed you into, you were being reshaped. Pain became your teacher. Loneliness became your mirror. Fear became your fuel. Every tear you swallowed became strength in disguise. Every betrayal carved wisdom into your bones. Every night you survived rewired your soul. You didn't just survive, you adapted. There were moments you wanted to disappear, moments you questioned your worth, moments you wondered if maybe they were right about you. But even then, even at your weakest, something inside you refused to die. A quiet voice, a stubborn flame, a pulse that whispered, "Not yet." You learned to stand alone. You learned to self-soothe when no one came. You learned that rescue doesn't always arrive from the outside. Sometimes, you become your own rescue. And that realization, that's where everything started to change. They never saw the transformation coming. While they were stuck replaying old versions of you, you were becoming someone they could no longer recognize. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped chasing closure. You stopped asking for permission to exist. You grew comfortable with silence. You grew powerful in solitude. You grew dangerous in self-awareness. Because once you understand yourself, no one can control you. And that scared them. Did they really think you would stay broken forever? Did they believe pain would make you weak instead of wise? Did they assume your suffering would benefit them more than you? Look at them now, confused, unsettled, watching from the sidelines as you rise. They sense the shift. They feel the distance. They notice you no longer react the same way, and nothing terrifies them more than indifference. You don't burn with anger anymore. You don't chase revenge. You don't need their apologies, because you've learned a powerful truth. Peace is the loudest response. While they stay trapped in old patterns, you move forward. While they replay the past, you build the future. While they talk, you transform. And transformation is something they can never take from you. Let me tell you something they'll never admit out loud. They regret it. They regret underestimating you. They regret thinking you were disposable. They regret laughing instead of listening, because now they see it. The calm in your eyes, the steadiness in your voice, the confidence that doesn't need validation. You walk differently now. You speak differently now. You exist differently now. You carry storms in your past, but stars in your present. There were nights you rebuilt yourself piece by piece, days you chose discipline over despair, moments you said no when your old self would have begged. That wasn't luck. That wasn't chance. That was work. That was growth. That was courage. You earned this version of yourself, and they can feel it every time they look at you. You've become something rare, unbothered, unshakable, unstoppable, not because you never feel pain, but because pain no longer controls you. You learned how to hold your crown without announcing it. You learned how to walk away without slamming doors. You learned how to win without needing an audience, and that mastery, that's the ultimate revenge. They thought your silence meant defeat. They thought your distance meant weakness. But silence was your strategy. Distance was your protection. While they were busy watching your downfall, you were preparing your ascent. And now they watch in regret. You don't need their recognition. You don't need their approval. You don't need their remorse. Because the version of you standing here today was born in places they could never survive. You carry scars like medals, lessons like armor, wisdom like a crown. You are proof that pain can become power, that betrayal can become clarity, that darkness can create light. So stand tall, stand grounded, stand proud. Let them remember the moment they laughed, because that moment created the force they now fear. You didn't just rise, you transcended, and while they stay stuck in regret, you walk forward in freedom. This is your peace, this is your power, this is your victory, and no one can take it from you. And listen, the story doesn't end here. This is where it truly begins, because the moment you stood back up, the moment certainty replaced fear in your eyes, the moment your silence became louder than their noise, they finally realized what they had created. The ones who laughed at your weakness now feel unsettled by your strength. The ones who tried to shrink you now lower their eyes when you rise. You didn't take revenge. You didn't scream. You didn't explain. You simply changed. And that is what hurts them the most. Do you remember those nights when you were alone, when no messages came, when your pain had no witness but the dark? Those nights didn't destroy you. They shaped you. You learned that not every smile is honest. You learned that not everyone who walks with you stands for you. You learned that some wounds must be carried quietly and slowly. You understood your own worth. The people who once thought they owned a place in your life are now just memories. And memories, they no longer control you. You think of them without anger, without longing, without questions, and that is victory. Because when someone can walk through your mind without shaking your heart, you are finally free. There is no complaint in your eyes anymore, no begging in your voice, no apology in your steps. You built boundaries, and boundaries are not walls, they are self-respect. Those who once mocked your limits now stand outside them, wondering when they lost access to you. They believed you were nothing without them. They were certain you would collapse. They were convinced you would never recover. Today, those same people are silent. Today, those same people are watching. Today, those same people are regretting. Because you didn't just survive the storm. You became something it could not break. You don't chase attention anymore. You don't announce your progress. You simply move forward, and that quiet progress drives them restless. Your peace is the punishment they never expected. Your calm is the answer they can't argue with. Your growth is the reminder they can't escape. Remember this: anyone who laughs at your pain will never be able to handle your power. So never shrink yourself. Never apologize for your journey. Never feel ashamed of the chapters that shaped you. You are the one who fell and stood again. You are the one who burned and still shined. You are the lesson for those who doubted you. And if one day you feel yourself slipping, if doubt tries to return, if the old pain whispers again, remember this: they laughed, you survived, you transformed, and now they regret. This is your story. This is your strength. This is your peace. And no one can ever take it away. Because the version of you standing here today was born in places they could never survive. You carry scars like medals, lessons like armor, wisdom like a crown. You are proof that pain can become power, that betrayal can become clarity, that darkness can create light. So stand tall, stand grounded, stand proud. Let them remember the moment they laughed, because that moment created the force they now fear. You didn't just rise, you transcended, and while they stay stuck in regret, you walk forward in freedom. This is your peace. This is your power. This is your victory, and no one can take it from you.